Hi, I'm Simonette Cherepanov, and I had mentioned to you in a previous video about our lifestyle reset that we will do January 4th. Back to Eden, we will be using this book. One of the things that I mentioned about was what happened when I went to Japan and I saw their style of living and how I researched and found out about how many centenarians they have and all that. And that is part of it. We're going to do 3 minutes of that every day, which is an excellent way just to stay mobile and not allow our lives to get too sedentary, especially in my case at 65 years old and older. We tend to retire and then do pretty much not a lot, if that's the case. This rhythm becomes important so that we don't get stuck in being sedentary, doing nothing, and our joints will get stiffer and harder to move and painful, and then eventually we don't move much at all. But one of the things too that we will be adding to that, not just to the longevity movements, but we're going to be adding some breathing. And research that I have been looking into, a lot of medical research that I'm going to be adding to the video so that you can search it for yourself, is that our body has two ways of functioning. We are either in growth mode, that means we're going, or we are in repair mode, means we cloth shop and we check inventory, make sure that everything needs to where it needs to be, get rid of what is not needed, add what is needed. And that requires for us to stop, for us to get to a point that we say, what do I need to do? Because if the store is still open and people are coming in and out, you don't have time to do that. You're taking care of your clients. So that's what happens in our body too. So there has been a lot of research on that, and you probably has heard a lot about fasting and how that is so important for autophagy. What is autophagy? Well, it is our body's God-given design process of cellular cleanup. When the body removes damaged proteins, repairs stressed cells, recycles all components, and restores healthy function. We have a lot of information of how does that happen, which it does happen to all of us, especially when we sleep. If we have a good restful night of sleep, our body normally does that. Now, when we need more than that, then normally we will do like a long fast. We stop eating so that our body stops and it's able to renew and repair. Or in this case, a lot of research has been found that there are ways to actually do that, to trick the body into the sense of fasting without actually not eating, but with specific breathing techniques. So with that, we're going to do that. It's a 7 minute, and it is very interesting how that works. We will take care of that every morning, just like the longevity movements. And then we will go over each day of the entries that we have for the journal on the book. Now, we all have a process of autophagy happening on a daily basis, some more than others. If we have a good restful night, it usually happens at nighttime. But if we don't, then sometimes we feel sluggish, we feel brain fog, we feel all these symptoms that we realize our stomach is not functioning well. We see other signs and symptoms in our body. And then we decide, it's time for a detox. It's time for a fasting. I need to do something. Fasting, by the way, it was a regular practice that our ancestors had in the Bible. They fasted 1 or 2 days, and they were regular fasts throughout the year that everybody adhered together. It is something that has been in use for, a long time, and it's good. It's important to do so, because when we stress our body by not giving it food, then our body has to, one, which is amazing how our Father does this, protect the good cells So they stay, alive, but then the body goes after the sick cells, the any things that need to be discarded anyhow, so that the body can obtain water and can obtain energy. So that is the perfect way to take care of both things. Allow the body to cleanse and repair, but also get rid of cells that need to go. So when we bring that into our regular rhythm, and it can be done with just breathing. Like I said before, when you stress the body goes into um, survival mode. How can I stay alive? It's going to stay alive no matter what, and it does very intelligently take care of that. I know that some people have never fasted, and even the concept of fasting is daunting, but there is a way, has been proven scientifically that we can actually fast with or mimic fasting in our bodies, stress our bodies, so that the body goes after those cells because it thinks it's lacking food, but we can do it through breathing. And this breathing technique, it only takes 7 minutes. And it's something we can do. Any of us can do 7 minutes of breathing, 3 minutes of longevity movements. If we can just add those 10 minutes, it's amazing the amount of things that we can get accomplished, not just in time, but because of our energy. And we are prolonging the health of our body. I don't know about you. I am not here just to stay forever and not have quality life, just quantity. That's not my desire. I want to live all the days that the Father has prepared for me to live, but I want to live them well. I want to live them in health. So that is something we will do together on January 4th. There is something else I would like to share with you that I've been practicing since I came back from Japan. You have to eat it first and digest it and be able to serve it to others. I've been trying to check that if it's true. Obviously, we have the medical research, but I wanted to test it. I wanted to know if how it worked for me to change my pace and deal more with the Father's rhythm of living and not living by the world's pace, which is really fast, and you pretty much are never good enough, never done enough, and it's always more and more and more. So as I've been practicing this, I realized that little 3-minute exercise routine, it's easy, that the movements are not difficult, but they seem to me a little fast. And I don't know if that's going to be your case, but I just want to share with you what happened to me. So, what happened was I started to do them, and I felt like I was just doing it really fast. And as a dancer, I want to do the movements more elongated and more stretch even more, but there's not enough time to do them. I'm watching them and I'm trying to do what they're doing as fast as I can. And it felt rushed. It feels stressed, it wasn't helping me. So I thought, well, I'll continue until, I figure out how to do it well. It must be, I just don't know it. So it did, took a while and I learned them. And then one day I'm doing it and the Father said, close your eyes and listen. And okay, it's a really simple piano score in the background. And I closed my eyes. I knew the movements. So I just listened to the sound and went with it. And there was a shift in my mind and heart about how to do this. And I realized I have no problem doing this. This is really simple. Why was I having such a hard time? So he took me back to October 7th when I was in Israel at the airport. And at that time, we're listening to the warnings about going into the bomb shelter because we're being bombed. I could see some of the roof is clear, so you can actually see out and you can see the bombs being intercepted by the Iron Dome. but I'm not understanding the warning. It's Hebrew. I don't speak Hebrew. So I'm hearing blah, 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 and I have no idea what they're saying, but I'm seeing people running in every direction. And he said, don't move. And I heard it really soft and calm. And it was almost like I went into a bubble and time just stopped for me. And I could look around and see people moving really slow. And he said, pay attention to the Israelis behind the counters. I did. I looked, and I have a friend of mine with me. See me, what are we doing? And I'm like, wait. As I'm watching them, they're all behind the counters. Everybody's running, jumping over suitcases and all that, but they're just staying. I'm watching them, and then all of a sudden I see them jumping out of the, behind the counter and running too. And there's another warning on the speakers. And then he said, okay, it's time to move. We had heard one of our tour guides was saying, Americans love to just run in the streets. We don't run, we walk. And that came to my mind. And she's like, my friend is saying, let's go, let's run. And I said, no, we don't run, we walk. And we start walking towards the bomb shelter. And I'm not saying this to you that that's what you're supposed to do. All I'm saying is he brought this to my mind and reminded me how I felt when the world is running and I felt that I was in a bubble. And he said that you were hearing me because you slow down and you were hearing me and not them. Not that I could understand what they were saying, but you're not hearing them, you're hearing me. I'm telling you this in probably, 5 minutes or so. And it took seconds, really didn't take that long, but it was something that I'll never forget. It's something that I know that I know that I know that He will guide us when we need it. So at that point, the day that it clicked for me, the rhythm, He said, remember September 7th? I said, I do. And He said, this is what I'm talking about. Listen to me, go by my rhythm. And that is something that I would like to share. As I'm learning or relearning a new lifestyle, that's why it's called Lifestyle Reset. Not my old lifestyle, but a new one, because we need to be prepared for when He meets us, when we are going to be overwhelmed by the world, and we need to be still and listen to Him, listen to His voice, and go at His rhythm. We are going to start this new lifestyle where we are going to learn a new way of breathing so that we can clear our mind and clear our body of putting our life into a repair mode and not just a growth mode. We're also going to learn movements that will become natural and a habit to do with no need of equipment, no need of membership of the gym or anything like that. You can do it anywhere. It's really simple and easy. We are going to spend time at the feet of our Father and journal with Him, hear Him, say every morning, Hineni, here I am, and be able to hear what He has to say to each one of us. It will be personal, it will be different, but it will be awesome. Looking forward to spend 3 months with you.